Imagine picking a fight with someone half your size and then getting your teeth kicked in. That's exactly what happened when the Soviet Union invaded Finland in 1939. Stalin thought it would be a quick and easy conquest. Finland? Yeah, they had other plans. This is the Winter War, where a tiny country humiliated a superpower. It's 1939 and Europe is on the edge of World War II. Stalin, being Stalin, is paranoid about Nazi Germany. He wants to push Finland back from Leningrad, modern-day St. Petersburg, to create a buffer zone. So he demands Finland give up some land. Finland politely says, "No, thanks." Stalin, not used to people telling him no, decides to invade. After all, the Red Army has over 1 million men, thousands of tanks, and a massive air force. Meanwhile, Finland has, what? 300,000 guys, barely any tanks, and some rifles from World War I. On paper, this should have been over in a few weeks, but this wasn't just any war, this was a Finnish Winter War. On November the 30th, 1939, the Soviets charge into Finland, and immediately things go horribly wrong. First off, the Finnish terrain is a nightmare. Dense forests, frozen lakes, and narrow roads. Soviet tanks get stuck, supply lines become a mess, and troops have no idea where they're going. Meanwhile, the Finns, they live here. They know every tree, every hill, and every frozen lake like it's their backyard. And then comes the weather. Soviet troops were sent in with summer uniforms in minus 40 degrees Celsius temperatures. You think your winter is bad? Try fighting a war while your fingers are freezing off. Oh, and the Finns? They're wearing white camouflage and skiing through the snow like stealthy ninjas with rifles. This is where we meet Simo Heiha, aka the White Death. This guy was a Finnish sniper with over 500 confirmed kills. The Soviets started calling him a ghost because every time they tried to catch him, another soldier dropped dead. Simo was so terrifying that the Soviets launched full-on artillery strikes just to kill one man. Did it work? Nope. He just kept going. As the weeks go by, the Red Army keeps taking losses. The Finns use guerrilla tactics, sneak attacks, and the famous Moti strategy, where they would isolate Soviet units in the deep snow and annihilate them one by one. The Soviets lose entire divisions because they're marching in neat, straight lines down narrow roads. The Finns? They ambush, set traps, and destroy Soviet tanks with Molotov cocktails. Yes, Finns were literally throwing glass bottles filled with gasoline at Soviet tanks, and it was working. By January 1940, Stalin is furious. His army, which was supposed to steamroll Finland, is now a laughingstock, so he does what any dictator would do. He sends in even more troops. This time, the Soviets start making progress. They bombard Finnish defenses with artillery and airstrikes. The Finns, desperately outnumbered, are finally worn down. By March 1940, Finland is exhausted. After 3 months of brutal fighting, they agree to peace. Stalin finally gets the land he wanted, but at a terrible cost. The Soviet Union lost over 300,000 men, either dead, wounded, or frozen solid. The Red Army's reputation was destroyed. Finland lost land but stayed independent, which was the biggest victory of all. The Winter War proved that size isn't everything. Sometimes strategy, determination, and knowing how to survive a freezing winter can beat even the biggest army in the world. So, what do you think? Was this the biggest Soviet embarrassment ever? Drop a comment below. And hey, subscribe before you find yourself fighting in a Finnish winter.